The computer's case holds all of the internal components and provides power through its power supply. Computer cases come in two basic form factors or shapes. These are ATX tower and micro ATX. ATX tower cases are the most popular. They allow the greatest expansion, they're impressive to look at, and are ideal for most home computer systems. Within the ATX tower form factor, there are two sizes, mid-sized and full. Mid-sized towers typically have 4 or 5 5¼ inch bays for adding CD, DVD, and Blu-ray drives, and 4 or 5 bays for 3½ inch hard drives. Full-size towers have between 5 and 12 5¼ inch drive bays and 4 to 10 3½ inch bays. Deciding which size tower to choose comes down to how many hard drives and DVD or Blu-ray drives you intend to have in your computer. Mid and full tower ATX cases support the ATX motherboard standard. ATX is the standard size motherboard used in most computers today. Micro ATX is a smaller version of the ATX motherboard made for smaller micro ATX cases. You can also put a micro ATX motherboard into a regular ATX case if you like. You can find micro ATX cube, desktop, and tower cases. Micro ATX cases are very popular for space savings and portability, with 1 or 2 5¼ inch bays and 1 to 4 3½ inch bays. The quality of the case is important. It should be solid, have no sharp edges inside, and should be easy to work with. Look for a case that is easy to move parts around in. When you remove the side of the case, it should be generally open, with easy access to the motherboard and drive bays. The power supply takes the electricity from the wall outlet and converts it to power all of the components in your computer. For both ATX and micro ATX power supplies, the current standard is called ATX 12V 2.2. The specification is the same, but micro ATX power supplies are smaller in size. Most ATX cases do not come with a power supply, while most micro ATX cases do come with a power supply. It's important that the power supply you choose provides enough power to support all of the components in your system. A 400-watt power supply is a minimum. If you want to add several hard drives and CD, DVD, or Blu-ray drives, you should look for a 500 to 550-watt power supply. The latest video cards can also pull a lot of power. Check the video card specs for power requirements, especially if you're going to be using 2 or more video cards in SLI or Crossfire mode. Also, PCI Express video cards require a special power connector, so check the power supply for PCI Express, SLI, or Crossfire support. You can also add this connector to a standard 4-pin connector with a PCI Express power adapter. To figure out how many watts your computer will need, do a Google search for power supply calculator. You'll find the Extreme Power Supply Calculator. Enter all of your hardware into the drop-downs. Click Calculate, and it will tell you the wattage requirements. Add an additional 100 watts to be safe. Another feature to look for in a power supply is modular cables. On most power supplies, all of the cables are attached and cannot be removed, even if you don't need them in your computer. This means you have to tuck away the unused cables in the case, which takes up room and can cut down on the airflow, which will affect the cooling of the components in the case. A power supply with modular cables lets you only plug in the cables you actually need. You can store the extra power cables for future use. To go along with the power supply, be sure to buy a power strip with surge protection. This will provide power to the computer, monitor, speakers, and other components. You might consider buying an uninterruptible power supply, or UPS, which replaces the standard surge protector. A UPS is a battery backup that provides continuous clean power to your PC and other devices. If the power goes out for an extended period, usually 10 to 15 minutes, the UPS will save your documents, close the applications you're working on, and shut down the computer gracefully. Prices range from $80 to $200, depending on your computer's power requirements in watts and how long you want the battery to last if your electricity fails. When you purchase your case, make sure it comes with, or buy separately, an ATX 12V 2.2 power supply with at least 400 watts of power. If you're planning on using SLI or Crossfire, look for support in the power supply. Don't be afraid to pay extra for good cooling options, quality construction, and ease of use. You'll thank yourself later. $40 for a case with a power supply is a good minimum amount. Paying more will get you a better case and power supply. But don't pay more than $300 unless it's the case to beat all cases. In the installation lessons, we'll go over how to install all of the internal components into the case and connect the cables to power them.